talk that some witnesses said that there possibly was a baby in his arms. Can you explain why maybe they would have thought that and explain what actually happened?
Yeah, and I'm not aware of other folks saying that they actually witnessed the shooting themselves personally. And it sounds to me like it's more associated with speculation about what might have occurred. Oftentimes, when uh, you know people know about an incident happening and they see bits and pieces, they try to fill in the answers to what might have happened. I understand why things like that occur, but in situations like this, it can be damaging and quite concerning. We really work hard as a police department to try to make sure that we put out the facts about what occurs. It's the reason why you saw myself, my public information officer, out at the scene, and we didn't go on camera right away. And that's because we want to make sure that we gather all the facts so that when we present them to you, you can trust that there's some integrity in what we have to say about a circumstance. So to hear that there's speculation that says something other than what we put out in our press release, to me is quite damaging. The facts are that a individual came out of a residence holding a child, had put that child in the car, and when the officer approached him and identified himself as being with the police department, he specifically gave orders that the person was to show his hands and then gave him direction to turn towards the vehicle. Instead, this individual decides to reach behind them and to brandish a firearm. The officer, in that split second, gave him commands, no, 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 don't. But instead, the person had pulled the gun up, and the officer discharged his weapon. We later find out that the weapon is stolen. The officers were already there investigating, checking on a residence, and they observed this vehicle sitting in the driveway, and it has drugs in it. Not good circumstances at all, and very, very challenging situation for an officer to have to encounter. So when they go through that kind of a circumstance, and while we are grateful, that our officers were unharmed, and while we are thankful that at this point the person who was shot is still with us, we can't help but be or feel like it's damaging when people put out misinformation.
Thank you. Did you have any other questions?
Are there any updates on the condition of the suspect and what charges may be filed?
So the suspect remains in critical condition. They are 36-year-old Hispanic male, and he will be charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, and that's a first-degree felony. So a very, very serious charge. And there are likely to be other charges to follow. But again, it's an ongoing investigation of which the Texas Rangers are the lead investigating agency, and we are cooperating and working with them.